You're not ungrateful. You're awake. This is the Dignity Room, a place that's always yours. Come in.
There's a question you've asked yourself more times than you'd ever admit. So, usually lately, when the house is dark and the person beside you is asleep and you are wide awake, should I stay or should I go? And you run the loop. You've run it 100 times. All the reasons to stay, all the reasons to go, the kids, the history, the money, the fear, the good days, the bad ones, around and round and round. And you never land. You never actually get to an answer. And eventually you just fall asleep. And the next day, you function like always, and the loop waits for the next dark, quiet night. Here's what I want to say right at the start. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Anyone who'd answered that question for you doesn't understand the question. But I might be able to show you why the loop never lands and what actually needs to be happen before it can. Okay, let's look at it. Let's look at this question, stay or go. And I think it's the wrong question, or let's say at least is the question asked in the wrong order. So let's get a few episodes back in the free to choose one. I said something I want to bring right into this room. Freedom isn't leaving and it isn't staying. It's being able to choose to do either one because you want to, not because you have to. And here's how that lands on stay or go. The question is almost never really stay or go. The real question underneath it is, am I choosing this or am I trapped in it? Because a woman who stays because she chooses to, eyes open, from strength, is in a completely different relationship than a woman who stays because she's afraid or because she can't financially imagine living or because she is so tired she can't think straight. Okay, so it's like the same house and same person beside her, but one of them is in her relationship and the other is stuck in it. And before we ever get to stay or go, there's a deeper question. So it's like not which door, but am I free enough to actually stand at the choice? Because if you're not, if you're deciding from fear, from exhaustion, from I have no other option, then it doesn't matter which door you pick. You're not choosing, you're just reacting. And that is why the loop never lands. And this can be also very, very dangerous. Let's look at why the loop never resolves. You are a capable woman. I know, I don't question that one. So you make hard decisions all the time. Why can't you make this one? It's not because you are indecisive. It's because you are trying to make a free decision from an unfree place. So here's what I mean. When you run the loop at 2 a.m., look at what actually driving it. On the go side, it's often fear. It's fear of being alone, fear about money, fear of breaking the children's world, fear of what people would say, or fear that you'd regret it. And on the stay side, it's also often fear, but a different one. It's fear that leaving would be a mistake, fear that the good days mean you are ungrateful to even question it, fear that you've invested too much to walk away. It's like kind of this one, maybe not exactly that, but you get it, I know. So, do you see the problem? Both sides of your loop are being argued by fear. It's fear versus fear. And fear cannot make good decisions, never. Fear can only make you freeze or flee. Neither of those is choosing. And in this position, the making like such a decision is, it can be really dangerous for you. And there's something else. Keeping the loop spinning, you keep trying to solve it by gathering more information. So, is he going to change? Or would the kids be okay? Would I be happier? You research it, you analyze it, you make mental pro and con lists. But this was never an information problem. No amount of analysis resolves it, because the thing that's missing isn't data, it's ground to stand on. A place solid enough that you could decide from something other than fear. And that's why the loop never lands. You're asking a free question, what do I truly want, from a place where freedom isn't available yet. And until that changes, you will run the loop forever and never reach the end of it. So if the loop can't be solved from where you're standing, what do you actually do? You don't answer the question yet, huh? And I know that sounds like avoiding. It's the opposite. The most powerful thing you can do is stop trying to decide and instead start building the ground you'd need to decide freely. What does that ground look like? So, a few things. The first is the one we talked about in episode, I think it was 5, a floor of your own. So some financial ground that's actually yours, only yours. Because here's the brutal truth. If you can't afford to leave, then staying isn't a choice you're making. It's a situation you are in. And you can't consciously choose to stay in something you couldn't leave if you needed to. The floor isn't about leaving. It's about making staying a real choice again. And the second is the work we've done across the whole arc, getting your own voice back, learning to trust your own read on things, because you cannot hear what you truly want about something this big if you spend years overriding your own intuition on everything small. And the third thing is rest. I mean, this is a hard one, I know, because it's very hard to rest when you have so much going on and you are in like this thinking loop. But actual rest is important, because a decision this important cannot be made well by a woman running on empty. Yeah. Exhaustion makes everything feel unbearable and unchangeable at once. So sometimes the most honest thing you can do before a big decision is simply stop being so depleted that you can't think. And I mean, let me be honest, this is not about preparing to leave. I need you to know that Building your own ground makes both doors real. And this is the point. A woman who is financially steadier, who trusts herself again, who's actually rested, she might look at her relationship from that solid place and choose to stay and build something better with her whole heart on purpose. Or she might choose to go. But both of those are dignified. Both of those are free. The point was never the door. The point is that she finally gets to choose one instead of being chosen by fear. So I will ask you something, and it's going to feel strange maybe because it's the opposite of what the loop demands. It's like, stop trying to answer stay or go. Just for now, take the question off the table. Not forever, just long enough to do the real work. Because every 2 a.m. loop you run is energy you are spending on a question you cannot yet answer. It's exhausting you and getting you nowhere, and it's keeping you so busy agonizing over the door that you never built the ground that would let you actually walk through one of them. So instead of asking, should I stay or go, ask a different question. Ask yourself, what would make me free enough to choose? And then do one small thing towards that. Open the account, have the rest you've been denying yourself. Take one category off the invisible load of your plate so your mind has room to breathe. Start trusting one small instinct again. And none of those things decide anything. That's the point. They don't push you towards either door. They just build the floor, so your foundation you'd stand on when the time comes. And whatever this will be then, you choose from freedom and not from fear. So when you do these steps and let this loop slightly go for a while, here's what tends to happen. You get freer, steadier, rested, standing on your own ground. The answer often stands to arrive on its own, quietly, not as a dramatic decision, but as a kind of knowing, because a free woman can usually feel what she wants. It was only ever the fear drowning it out. You don't have to decide tonight, right now. You just have to start becoming the woman who gets to. So let's sum this up a little bit. So when these three things stay with you today. So it's like 1, the loop never lands because you're trying to make a free decision from an unfree place. At 2 a.m., both sides, stay and go, are usually being argued by fear. And fear can't choose. It can only freeze or flee. 2. The work isn't deciding, it's becoming free enough to decide. Your own financial floor, your own voice, trusted again, actual rest, building that ground first, and it makes both doors real. Staying and leaving are equally dignified when they are actually chosen. And 3, stop asking stay or go for now. Ask instead, what would make me free enough to choose? And do one small thing towards that. It decides nothing, and that's the point. As you get freer, the answer tends to arrive on its own.
Before you go, if something here touched you, there's a quiet next step waiting. I made something for you, for when you're ready to come back to yourself. You'll find it in the show notes. Thank you for being here. This was the Dignity Room. The door stays open.